So Indos, can you please start?
Okay, I have started to share my screen. I hope you can see my screen.
Yes, very well.
Yeah. So as you suggested, I am taking the contents from the book and trying to make it a focused session. And I prepared some sort of, rather than, kind of going in some sort of wide-ranging topic, I try to focus it on the topic of contact. Yeah. So today I'm going to be talking about contact. It's not only going to be about contact, but within the wider context of the practice on the Four Noble Truths, the Noble Eightfold Path, and where does it fit in within that overall framework, and what are the kind of, say, challenges there are to understand this. Yeah. So what I would say is that this path, how this Buddha's path differs from other traditions, other various practices, is this path is the emphasis of this path is the direct understanding, direct knowledge, and the vision. Yeah, that the vision is crucial. It's not something like, there are various practices even before the Buddha, those practices around stealing, calming the kind of that the mind and body, that focusing on the calming, that's a process, was long before the Buddha. Yeah. And Buddha's approach was, this can lead to certain experiences, certain kind of depth, but there is a danger in falling into that sort of depth. Yeah. There are various traps that mind creates, and if you're stuck in that sort of traps, then a whole existence, our tendency to latch onto various experiences can be proportionate to that sort of experiences that you have acquired. Yeah. So, and that is the stark example that we can pick it from the Majjhima Nikaya 26. Yeah, Arya Parisana Sutta, because he already knew what sort of where mind can lead us to. Yeah. So Buddha's path is not about going into the very, very depth of our mind. It is staying at a very, very, let's say, a point of kind of contact. Yeah. That's why I picked up this contact. What Buddha said is that, going into the depth of the mind and unraveling that sort of treasure and that sort of whatever mind can bring does not lead us to the freedom. Yeah. Freedom does not lie in that sort of, like, say, 1 million miles in the depth of the ocean or something. Yeah. The freedom lies at the surface. Yeah. The point of contact is where where the insight lies. So this is the crucial aspect of the Dhamma, is that all this suffering, where does that originate? The point of origination of suffering lies in contact. Yeah. And this is the crux of the dependent origination. And I'm giving a very, a funny example. You have seen the car crash, yeah? So this is a typical example. So where does the kind of a suffering comes about? It is our inadvertent coming together and not knowing the kind of aspect that causes the suffering, the escalation of suffering to arise. Yeah. So that's why the kind of, if you look at this process, dependent origination is not some sort of a people tend to say that dependent origination is like a chain. There are one chain linked to another chain and linked to another. So dependent is origination is not chain. Yeah, it is a solid. It is a process. It is a kind of it is it is woven to the fabric of our experience. So it's like a car. Yeah, take for example car. There are wheels, there are mirrors, and there are kind of bonnets and everything. They combine together gives an experience of car. Yeah, so dependent origination is like a consolidated experience that come together when you hit when there is a car crash. It's not that first you happen to be in one particular uh, section, then another section comes, and next and another section. When a car crashes, the whole thing crashes. Yeah, so it's the same way in the sense that our experiences are not compartmentalized, that this is feeling, this is perception, this is consciousness, and so on. Yeah, so they all come together. So what happens is that we have Buddha's discovery was that there are five elements, five constituent of our experience. Yeah, the five aggregates. So those five aggregates are the body, feeling, perception, formation, and consciousness. Yeah. So these are the five aggregates. These are the kind of what we call it as some sort of artifacts and some sort of product of our engagement with the phenomena. So whatever comes in our mind, if we latch onto and if we grasp into that, then we start to store more and more those phenomena. So these are like we create that sort of whenever we identify with the sort of phenomena, then those we start to create that sort of phenomena. Yeah, and as those phenomena are what is the phenomena is engaged, what how they are kind of let's say progressed is we are creating that in let's say that has gone through a process of unconscious engagement. Yeah, so it's kind of we know that we think that we know how this process work. Yeah, we think that we are in control. We think that we know what we are doing, but this is precisely why we are falling into that sort of trap of creating more and more aggregates. Yeah, so we 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 think that we know this process, but we are creating all that stuff. So this is why ignorance is we this is created because we do not see things as they really are. So we are under trying to we are trying to, let's say, pretend we know things how things are, but it's really the things are not that kind of what we are seeing is a concept. Yeah, so that's kind of anything that we look forward to or step back, anything that appears in our experience, and any movement of mind that start to generate the concept. Yeah, so that is the state of conceptualization. We are always in a living in that sort of dream. Yeah, that we think that whatever we are seeing, whatever we're hearing, whatever we're testing, all these are we think these are already out there. Yeah, but we are not realizing the fact that because we are engaging, we are processing. By that virtue of that sort of engagement, we are creating that sort of experiences. This is quite a quite a counterintuitive experience. Yeah, and that is Buddha said that this world is what we imagine, what we conceptualize. That is the world. Yeah. So all these uh, anything in our experience. So take it for great elements of four jhanas, four arupas, everything in this experience. It is we are creating this. Yeah. So these are created by our attention. And that is the kind of process of fueling those sort of phenomena. And those sort of phenomena would become into that sort of, they follow that sort of a process which is kind of a, so dependent origination is a, I call it a recipe, or it's a recipe for suffering. It's a DNA, it's a formula of suffering. Yeah. So whatever happens in the process of dependent origination, we have absolute no control over that. So as soon as the ignorance arise, with simultaneously with the ignorance, formation arise, consciousness arise, namarupa arise, and feeling arise, contact arise, everything happens at the same time, simultaneous. Yeah. So this is a praticca samutpada. Is I would not call it dependent origination. I call it dependent causal concurrent arising. Yeah. So you got one condition. When that particular condition is met, all of this thing, everything happens, at the same time. So it's not like one after another. The formation arise, consciousness. No, it doesn't happen like that. Everything happens bang. It's like a big bang. Yeah. So all those in experiences, they just burst into experience. So this is a kind of introduction I have. So I am open to a question if you would like to ask any question. So do you have any question?
Yeah, anyone who would like to ask questions?
So this is a different definition of dependent origination from what you might be hearing.
Yes, we said it's not like a one by one.
It's not like one, it's like a bang, 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 bang. It's like a big bang, yeah? So
It's like a big
it's just,
bang, yes.
yeah. So everything, as soon as our eyes open, the whole experience arises at the same time, yeah? That's why chasing that, can you pick a feeling? Can you pick a contact? Can you pick uh, let's say, clinging and habitual tendency? We cannot pick them one by one because they all happen at the same time. Yeah. So that is why, if we try, if we see that, for example, we see some sort of bubbles or that sort of things, you might have, because, there are certain, hallmark of awakening that, our community said that you see some bubble out of Nirodha. Yeah. Is that, some bubble arise. So if you see some sort of bubbles around that, that is still, it is happening in the domain of concept. Yeah. So you conceptualize because with our experience, we can only explain or, take those experiences in terms of concept. Yeah. So that's why we see them as some sort of vibration, some sort of bubbles. So seeing them, if you are seeing those in a process in terms of bubbles or some sort of, some sort of random, kind of things, that means you are still seeing that sort of, you are still within the domain of concept. Yeah. So what happens is that means that if you are seeing the experience with some sort of kind of, let's say, some sort of, kind of episodes, if you see episodes of phenomena, that means you are within the realm of concept. Yeah. So when you enter the realm of no concept, then those episodes and all these episodes would just get still. There is no episodes. Yeah. All that sort of episode that arise, is due to our identification. So that's why, it's, if you are seeing, if you say we manage to, we have got sort of, we practice this path correctly, and we siksar, and we make a sort of that sort of adjustment to the process, then all of a sudden we dive into the cessation. Yeah. So when the cessation occurs, and when certain, for a certain time being, that process would disconnect from all this, six sense basis. So all that sort of contact with the six sense basis disappear. That means with that sort of contact, feeling also ceases. When there is no feeling, no perception, and all the sort of, we are caught off with that sort of whole process of dependent origination. Yeah. So when you come back to the realm of conditioned, I mean the realm of dependent origination, then that process will start to shake your experience, will start to kind of bring that sort of, what we call vibration or certain perception. Yeah. So perception and so contact, perception, feeling, these are some sort of a, I would say in Pali it's called patiga. Yeah. Some sort of resistance and perception. Yeah. So these phenomena will start to kind of generate some sort of friction within the mind. Yeah. So let's say our mind is very, very subtle, extremely smooth, and when the mind is purified, when the mind is pure, there are no friction. But when these phenomena enter our mind, and the mind will start to experience these, they will start to generate those sort of friction. And those frictions are seen as some sort of, bubbles, and some sort of episodes of phenomena in our awareness. So we conceptualize them in terms of those sort of bubbles, or the sort of, many various interpretations that occur. So actually the path, the and Buddha's path is to not identify with that process. So, and that is the kind of stage of awakening, is rinse and repeat. Yeah. So it's kind of, what happens is that once you start to be familiar with the entering the cessation and coming back, entering cessation and coming back, if you do these sort of things many, many times, mind will become very much at ease, and that sort of a, let's say, a regularization, that sort of kind of becoming familiar with the cessation, unlocks the kind of a state of awakening. Yeah. So if you want to read that, I have captured this from Anguttara Nikaya. So in Anguttara Nikaya, in section of 10 or 9, there is a sutta called Tapussa Sutta. Yeah, just note it down, the Tapussa Sutta. And that sutta gives you the exact detail. What is the recipe for awakening? Yeah, full awakening. Yeah. So if you have not become an arahat, and if you want to become an arahat, do what the Buddha says in Tapussa Sutta. Yeah. So in Anguttara Nikaya, is Tapussa Sutta is what Buddha says, that all the jhanas, you go from first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and in each jhana there is a two side. Let's say we got a first jhana, and on the left side of the first jhana is the sensual pleasure, that's an unwholesome state, five hindrances, and that sort of, all these worldly thing. On the right hand side of the first jhana is something devoid of the first jhana. Yeah. So if you let go of the first jhana, the sensual world, and if you relinquish your attachment to the sensual pleasures, you arrive at the first jhana. And if you do, you go back and forth in the first jhana, and after some time, you become tired of the first jhana. Yeah, and you become this first jhana. What you see is that in the first jhana, you feel the contact with the sensual pleasure. Yeah, and you relinquish that contact, which is in a kind of like some sort of static or some sort of noise that is disturbing your peace of mind. Yeah. So then you relinquish that, you sexar that, and it will pop you into the second jhana. Yeah. So in the second jhana, and it's just a matter of time, isn't it? So you feel the calm, you feel the relief that all this sort of a sensual pleasure, that the sensual thoughts, all these unwholesome states, and that sort of because first jhana is the boundary between sensual world, yeah, and the higher state. So once you move into the second jhana, your boundary is the first jhana and the whatever beyond the second jhana. So, and that's how you do that. Buddha says that, it's kind of, you go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and you notice that you are already fed up with the second jhana because you see that there is some impurity, there are some sort of noise, some sort of, distraction that the first jhana is causing to you. Yeah. It's an, if you, and I would suggest you test it yourself. If you are in any of those practice, you can closely monitor kind of how these states are. Yeah, if you are in a first jhana, and if you know how to switch to various jhanas, just stay in the first jhana for 5 minutes and quickly flip your switch to second jhana. Yeah, all of a sudden your experience will be much easier. Your mind will feel much as ease. Yeah, so you can test it. All the jhanas are characterized by that sort of experiences. You might feel rapture and the pleasure of the first jhana is quite nice, is very good in the beginning. But if you switch to the second jhana, you feel that you are much more relieved. Yeah, so you can test it all the way. Yeah, and Buddha did in the Tapussa Sutta. He tested that. He went to the first jhana, second jhana, third jhana, and he went to the arupas, and then he went to the cessation. Even in the state of cessation, he was his peace of mind was disturbed. So what is the disturbance in the cessation? What is the cessation? What are the kind of Nirodha? If you know, what are the kind of what are the issues with this Nirodha? Do you know what is that? Nirodha is conditioned by six sense bases and conditioned by our life faculty. Yeah. So Nirodha is not, it is still a conditioned phenomenon. Yeah. So Nirodha is not ultimate freedom because there is some hook coming from, let's say, our six sense bases, and also it is next to the neither perception nor non-perception. So those sort of hooks, those sort of disturbances are in a kind of causing the sort of total let's say peace of mind is the state of all the sort of let's say state of unconditioned, is that sort of you are completely free from all those sort of experiences. Yeah. So
Sorry, Indu, but surely Nirodha is defined as cessation of perception and feeling.
Yeah.
So how can you be perceiving something if you're in Nirodha?
Yeah, Nirodha is a cessation of perception and feeling, but it is still conditioned phenomenon. Yeah.
In what way?
Because your life faculties, your six senses, your
But
six sense
you wouldn't
bases.
have any six senses in Nirodha because it's a cessation of perception.
Yeah, it is cessation, but it is you are still bound by that sort of. You are tied to that. Yeah.
Not if there's no perception. You
Well,
can't talk about the six sense basis in terms of Nirodha.
no, I totally agree. So you're saying when you are in the Nirodha, you are disconnected, but you are still conditioned by that. Yeah.
Well, I think
Well,
you're playing with words there, really, to be honest.
no, I do not need to convince you of anything. So read this, Sutta number 44 or 43. Yeah. Where, if you are of a belief that Nirodha is the unconditioned state, then read that sutta. Yeah. So you need to read it and then you can come back to me. Yeah. I'm not just claiming that this is the truth. You need to read it. Yeah. And what I'm saying is that this the another sutta, and I am trying to justify that with another sutta called Tapussa Sutta. And in the Tapussa Sutta, there is a Buddha went to the sort of Nirodha, but he could read that again, and even and you can find that Nirodha is not an unconditioned state. So you need to clarify, be clear on that. Yeah, it is a temporary disconnect from a conditioned experiences, but it is still subject to those experiences. Yeah. So, and what happens that, because Nirodha can occur many, many times. Yeah. It can occur, and that what is the process of awakening? The process of awakening is to, it is the process of mastering, or shall I say, becoming familiar with the process. Yeah. So when you go to Nirodha and come back, when you go and come back, then you develop that sort of what is called kind of a total disenchantment or sort of dispassion, and to the whole process, yeah, of this sort of going back and forth. And then when that sort of disenchantment, dispassion is matured, this maturing process leads to what is called the release. Yeah. So, and again, you can read it in many places. Dispassion, cessation, and maturing in release. Yeah. So that's why Nirodha is not, does not guarantee that you have become awakened. You need to rinse and repeat, and that's sort of when that matures, then you will be able to unlock that sort of stage of awakening. Yeah. So you enter the stream, you got a stream entry, the once returning, non-returning, and arahat. Yeah. So it's the same process. Just you become more and more familiar, and they just become completely unaffected. It doesn't matter. So your tendency to take any of those personal experiences personally goes away. Yeah. So nothing is being reacted to. When nothing is being reacted to, you will not become agitated. So you are completely still and free. So that is the state of freedom in terms of going into various experiences and arriving at that sort of state of unconditioned. Yeah. So I mentioned there are various degrees of experiences, and you can call it a 10-footer model, or four stages of awakening. These are kind of progressively being attained by repeating the same process. Yeah. So you become completely kind of disillusioned, become completely, let's say, tired of that sort of all these phenomena. And that's sort of, because of that sort of being so familiar, so much at ease, and so much as unburdened, your awakening would become progressively more mature by that sort of process. Yeah. So that's what I want to say. So any further comments?
Yes, I agree with Indo. We only have the Nibbana that is unconditioned. The rest is all conditioned.
Yeah. So
So,
there is yeah.
yes. So no matter what we are aiming for, the goal is not just Nirodha. The goal
Yeah.
is for the Nibbana, the extinguish
Yeah.
of all craving. And on that part, we are already not conditioned by everything, because it's all under the mind is a very pure mind. There's no craving and no there's nothing come up in the mind. Just the mind is completely open up,
Yeah.
and it's
So yeah.
called completely, how to say that, it's completely silent. There's no craving at all. So that is Nibbana. But the rest is all conditioning.
Yeah. So
Nirodha absolutely is conditioning.
yeah, Nirodha is a very, very,
It's
so
conditioned with the,
it
so
is
that
conditioned only because of that sort of, we have that sort of, let's say, it is unconditioned for, let's say, whatever duration you are in, but it is still conditioned because you have got that sort of, life faculty, and that your six sense bases that are, still with you. Yeah. So that sort of experiences would not, make it a kind of a state of complete freedom.
So you're saying that you only reach Nibbana at death, then?
Sorry?
Are you saying you only reach proper Nibbana at death? Because I've had a look at MN43.
No, I'm not saying that. So Colonel, did I say that? You have got you can, and there are certain kind of text in the Pali Suttas is that you can experience Nibbana, but there are two level of Nibbana. Yeah, one is the Nibbana with the residue, another is Nibbana without residue. Yeah, so Nibbana with the residue is you still got the five aggregates. Yeah, you have got the sense kind of faculties, but your Nibbana would be you can step out of the sort of five sense based and that sort of experiences, and you can be experiencing the state of Nibbana while still alive, but you still have that sort of residue, means that you have got the body, you have got a feeling, these will still continue as long as your life will last. Yeah, the
Right.
state
So
of parinibbana.
So you're saying that Nibbana can only fully be experienced when you've died, when you're not dependent on the body anymore. Is that
No,
really?
you can experience Nibbana while you are alive, but what I'm saying is that
Well, I mean, are you making the distinction between Norodha and Nibbana then?
of course, there are differences, of course.
Well, can you explain that to me then? Because I thought
Of course.
Nirodha was tasting of Nibbana. So
No. You cannot say that. Nirodha is not tasting of Nibbana. Who said that?
well, that's my understanding of it. Obviously, I'm wrong.
I
If
think
you're saying
we
that.
need to clarify that. Nibbana is is the third noble truth, is the cessation of all the craving. Yeah, and that's why I put out this long list here. Do you see here? Stealing of all formations, relinquishing of all acquisitions, letting go of all craving, dispassion, cessation, Nibbana. So Nibbana is all that. Nirodha is just a cessation. Yeah. So, Nibbana is the kind of, state of stealing of all formations. Yeah. So, and is a state of assetless, non-identification with all the phenomena. Yeah. So that Nibbana is Nirodha is just a disconnect from the universe, disconnect from the sense basis. Yeah, it is a process of it's like a stepping stone to. It's like this is the path. Yeah, the path to the final stepping stone to land into, let's say, an island of Nibbana. Yeah. So
Yeah, I mean,
cessation.
I
Yeah.
had a look at that MN43, and basically what it seems to be saying is that you only achieve Nibbana when you die, because that's when you were, you're not reliant on your body anymore. So is that what you're saying as well?
No. So that's why I mentioned about the experience. Yeah. So when you are in the Nirodha and you wake up, and if you are coming into realm of concept, you are identifying with the process. If you have let go of all the identification with the process completely, that is the state of Nibbana. You can still experience within your daily experiences by letting go of all the identification. Yeah. So it doesn't have to kind of go into the Nirodha and stay there. You can be in a state of Nibbana while in this sort of daily experiences. So if you are devoid of concept, devoid of any sort of identification, that is the state of Nibbana. Yeah. But you are still conditioned by this body. You are subject to the kind of pain and pleasure. That sort of things do still occur. But you have tested what is the state of unconditioned, the kind of the state of no concept. Yeah. So Nirodha is a blank. It's just a disconnect, the kind of breaking down the process of dependent origination. Yeah. So it's a kind of collapsing the breeze of dependent origination. Yeah. So then even in your daily activities, if you are read the Bahya Sutta, yeah, in the Bahya Sutta it says that if you are not, if there is in any process, if there is just a process, no identification, that's what the Buddha says. In seeing, just the seeing. In hearing, just the hearing. There is no in there. There is no you in anywhere. All the sort of identification with the phenomena is gone. And that is the end of suffering. And what is the end of suffering? That is the state of Nibbana, isn't it? So you can be in a state of Nibbana even while you are saying that. So when there is no you, it's just a seeing, yeah. So that is the process. So Nirodha is a disconnect. It's a process of kind of a stopping the flow. Yeah. It is the kind of a process to be unaffected by that sort of a flow of dependent origination. So gradually, when you kind of perfect that sort of, or when you are in a kind of familiar with that sort of process, your tendency to react to the phenomena will become much less. And then you are naturally dispassioned, your dispassion, cessation, maturing in release. Yeah. Just take these sort of few words and contemplate what that means. Yeah. So cessation is not nibbana. Dispassion, cessation, nibbana is the release. Yeah. You know that. So when your dispassion and cessation they will mature, then that will release. As simple as that. And I talked about the nibbana. You can experience nibbana while in living, and once you have let go all this, the life will stop. Your nibbana would be the final nibbana. Yeah. So it's called the parinibbana. Is that is the where all the aggregates will dissolve. Yeah. So there is nothing.
So basically, you're saying that nibbana is when cessation becomes prolonged in a way. Is that right?
No, I would not say it's prolonged. It doesn't matter. Someone can stay in Nirodha for 7 days. That does not mean that one can, attain Nibbana. It's just, it is to see the dependent origination, to see that process and become disenchanted, dispassionate, and tired of that. Yeah. So
yeah.
So
sorry, I still don't see it. I mean, to me, it seems like cessation leads to
So
nibbana.
that is the case. There are people who can experience Nirodha for 7 days.
Yeah.
They do that.
But
Do
that's
they
not nibbana.
qualify? Do they qualify as the Arya, the kind of noble disciples who have experienced Nibbana? No. Nirodha, and Buddha said that, and that's why specifically I brought that sutta.
Well, I've
Tapussa
just
Sutta.
looked at that sutta. Could you tell me where exactly it says that?
Where? Which sutta did you read?
MN 43. That's the one you mentioned, isn't it?
MN 43 is the. This is the Sariputta and yeah.
Well, I mean, do you want me to read it to you?
Yeah. So just read the title.
Okay. The Great Elaboration.
Sorry?
The Great Elaboration.
So MN 43 is the Mahavedala Sutta. Yeah. So I know the Pali.
Yeah,
So this is about the Sariputta and the something Mahakotita.
Yeah.
So when you read that sutta, and in the final part there is it says, what is the cessation of Nirodha? What is the difference between someone in the cessation and someone who is dead? Yeah. So he says,
What says that at the beginning?
In the beginning?
Yeah, that's what it talks about at the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that in that sutta, MN 43, Mahavedala Sutta, Sariputta gives the sort of a distinction between the Nirodha, cessation of perception feeling, and someone who is dead. And he says that the former is characterized by a state of, let's say, a faculty being fresh, where though there are mental formations have ceased and subside, verbal formations have ceased and subside, bodily formations have ceased and subsided.
Yeah,
but their faculty has not broken up, and their faculty remain fresh. Yeah. So that is the distinction. So
yeah, but that's between death and living.
Between death and living?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what does that mean is that I might have it may not be that sutta. So you need to probably find the other sutta somewhere. It says that what is the okay. So read the MN 121, Chula Sunnita Sutta. Yeah. Chula Sunnita Sutta, there it talks about that sort of what is that sort of state of cessation. What are the kind of residue that are available in the Chula Sunnita Sutta? Yeah. In Nirodha, it is still conditioned by the six senses and vital formations. Yeah. So that means that Nirodha is not a freedom complete. Yeah. So MN 121, if you read that, it's just those life faculties are the sort of disturbances or the sort of noise that will still make the Nirodha a conditioned state. Yeah. So I think you can find it in Majjhima Nikaya 121. Yeah. I think that's maybe there are some other places, but MN 121, I think it has that reference. So what I'm saying is that there are distinctions between Nirodha and Nibbana. Yeah. So I would probably highly recommend you to kind of understand this distinction. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
Nibbana
reading
is
that now. It doesn't talk about Nirodha and Nibbana.
okay. So shall I leave it to you to read in your own time? Yeah. So
well, as I say, I'm reading it now, and it doesn't talk about Nirodha and Nibbana.
yeah. So let me continue. So if you want to spend some time and that it could be in that sutta or somewhere else. Yeah. So I would probably want to continue a little bit. So and
I think we can have
I need to so
I
please,
suggest that we can have a special topic to talk about, because even the Nirodha, we cannot say that we have that breaking of that perceptions and feeling of 1 second should be the Nirodha. That is momentary Nirodha. We cannot say that it's Nirodha. We have 3 kinds of Nirodha. One is momentary. The one we have the cessation is momentary, but that is not the final Nirodha. And we have the Nirodha Samapatti. Nirodha Samapatti is we can perfectly, skillfully to have the Nirodha, but that we have to get into at least Anagami or Alahat to have that kind of ability. It's a perfect of the Nirodha. Our experience, just a little bit pick up, this is the momentary. But once we achieve the Nirodha, then the next one is the Nibbana. How is just we add the name mundane Nibbana. You remember Mandel said we are having the little bit breakup because before that we're still linking with all the karmic activities. So we have little bit breakup. At that moment, the mind is pure. But our karmic activity is still very strong. So once even is breaking up, we have a lot of joy, but immediately after that, we are craving of that feeling of joy, and then our craving come up. The dependent origination is coming back again. So that's a very short mundane nibbana. But mundane, I think that's the mundane.
So you can call it mundane nibbana.
It's not real nibbana.
It's not an official. It's not an official term. So
yeah, it's not official, but we can have
you can make it as some sort of, let's say, some sort of.
Yeah. So we can have a special topic about that, but I understand that we are not having the real Nirodha yet. So that
Yeah,
is
so
just
Nirodha is
momentary.
simply, yeah, so I mentioned there are various degrees. Yeah, so once you become familiar, say you can have sort of very quick flash even before reaching the Nirodha. Yeah, because you can lose the sort of awareness even before reaching the kind of Nirodha. Yeah, that sort of momentary gaps in your awareness, you will not notice that during the practice unless you have got a very sharp mindfulness. Yeah, when it happens in the first time you start to notice that, then kind of you and usually this is where people report that they saw some sort of vibration and that sort of things of some sort of world arising. So that is and you can experience Nirodha many times, yeah, during the practice. If you practice and I mentioned earlier, any jhana, just practice and that sort of with that sort of a balanced mind with no agenda and just let the process unfold, then Nirodha can be, it can be, you need to identify the right moment. Yeah. You need to know, you can estimate the mind is coming to exquisite balance. Mind is extremely comfortable. And in that process, all you need to do is to let go of your identification. Or if you let go of attention to identify with that sort of phenomena, it just dives into cessation. Yeah. So you can experiment that process. When your mind and when all your awakening factors are coming into that sort of very good balance, and if you just step back, take a step back, it collapses. Yeah. So your Nirodha can occur anytime when you are in that sort of stages. Yeah. So it just you can prolong that experience by sitting more and by using some sort of determination. So say if you've got a very good sitting and you have very good control, just let the mind do whatever it likes. Tell the mind, I don't care whatever happens, just show me whatever you can. Just leave everything to mind. And you can also use that sort of a determination. Okay, I will see what is going to happen. Let's say I've got this sort of times, I will continue to let go. So you can also develop that sort of a determination to stay in the Nirodha. Yeah. Once you are become skilled in that sort of art, then that is the kind of Nirodha Samapatti, is that you can go to Nirodha at will, and that is Nirodha Samapatti. Yeah. So in our general cases, we have no control over when we enter in the Nirodha. But if you are in a kind of skilled in that sort of process, and you have done the good mastery of determination, then Nirodha is no different from any other jhana. Yeah. So I would not say Nirodha is such a big bang, and it's not a kind of a accolade or some sort of prize. Nirodha is no distinct from other jhanas. Yeah. Let's not make it a big deal that Nirodha is something very special. It is Nibbana. No. If you claim that Nirodha is a special, then there is something that you are identifying. Nirodha is no different from any of the jhanas. Yeah, you can stay in Nirodha for half an hour, 1 hour. It's just you know how to deal with the mind. Yeah, if you know how to work with the mind,
but
you can just.
Surely there's no time in Norodha. How do you know
Sorry?
if you're staying there for half an hour or not?
Well, you can test it, Colonel. You don't have to be, kind of a, say, what I suggest you do, you can, if you are practicing and you want to know how long you've stayed in Nirodha, put something in your background, some TV program or any music, anything, put it, and then observe your mind. When you lost your awareness and when you start to pick up your, awareness, just measure that. I'm not going to say that you will exactly measure it is 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but I know this segment of awareness, this particular, conversation, and when you wake up, you pick that conversation. Yeah. So then you can, calculate how many minutes that was. Yeah. It could be half an hour, it could be 10 minutes, it could be 15 minutes, and that's it. We can use our, normal equipment and anything like a timer or some sort of, that's what I do. You can watch, you can let some program go on the background, sit in a meditation, let the process unfold. At what particular time you dive into that sort of process, and when you come back. Yeah. So
Well,
yeah, you can estimate it. I'm not gonna say that, but if you
I
do
mean,
determination, if you are good in determination, you can hit that.
okay. I mean, if I'm getting close to that, I'd have no awareness of what else is happening at all. But yeah, obviously I need to progress further.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, I would not say that it has to be accurate.
Before,
It,
yes, Pandey always talking to the advanced student that we have two mastery. One is the jhana practice, one is cessation practice. So the cessation practice and jhana practice is about the timing. Usually we start at 15 minutes and then half hour and then 1 hour and then few seconds for mastery or the stage. And then we make cross of each stage. So that is mastery. But at
yeah.
that time, not many people doing the mastery of the cessations, because the mastery of cessations, you need to achieve at least anagami, according to Pandey saying. The anagami can master the cessation, not the one below the anagami. So anyway, this is what the
Yeah.
Pandey said.
It is a matter of practice. So
Yeah, I cannot
if you
say.
if you do practice, then you become anagami. It's not that anagami, only anagami can do that. If you are good in your practice and if you can hit that, and if you can sustain nirodha, then you will definitely become anagami. So that is kind of a is a art of treading the path. Yeah. So it's kind of, I would not leave that to only anagami can do that. So it may be the case that you have certain fetters blocking your let's say peace of mind, and that sort of you need to have those sort of 5 lower fetters to go off. But it's if you can, that's why I'm saying that keep doing this practice, then you eventually grind away all these sort of fetters. Yeah. And when you do this, you don't look at what is going to happen next. Eventually it grinds away your that sort of any attachment that having sort of identification with the sensual pleasures, and those fetters, they will also go away. That means you can achieve both of that by that sort of process of as I said, there is only one recipe for awakening. It's just is a process of dispassion, cessation, maturing in release. Yeah. So maturing in release is you have got a release of the first stage. You do the same process, you release another process, and so on. Yeah. So and once you have done to the utmost, it just there is nothing more to do. Yeah. So this is how this can be done. Is that you devote your time. It takes a lot of effort. You have to invest your time. Especially having that sort of control over that sort of process. It's not that sort of easy, shall I say?
Okay,
but,
so
yeah.
is we are getting the times up to 11 now. So
could I
ask.
interrupt and please ask very quickly? Indu, could you give the sutta references that you mentioned? Is it in Anguttara Nikaya or Samyutta Nikaya, please? If you can.
Which sutta?
You mentioned a few suttas.
Okay,
could you give the references for them, please?
Yeah. I will give a name so you can search it in the.
Yeah. Thank you.
It's called Tapussa Sutta. Yeah.
Could you spell that for me, please? Hello.
Yeah. I'm writing it.
Tapussa Sutta.
Oh, you can forward to the group.
That would be a great help.
So yeah, I have written it down.
Yeah.
I think it's
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
It is around that, and the other sutta I mentioned is the MN 121. MN
121. Majjhima Nikaya 121.
Yeah. So these two sutta talk about Nirodha. Yeah.
43. All right.
I mean, there are certain distinction between signless and Nirodha, but yeah. MN 121.
Thank you very much. So you mentioned 3 suttas, is it?
Yeah, I mentioned 3 sutta. Any other I mentioned? No. So yeah. These are the key suttas on the Nirodha. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it Anguttara Nikaya? Did you say?
Yeah, Tapussa Sutta is in Anguttara Nikaya.
Yeah. Thank you very much indeed.
So we're going to have a last question. Anyone have questions? We can ask Indu. We give you the 2 more minutes of asking questions. Anyone want to ask questions?
Indu, could you explain a little bit further rinse and repeat, please? What do you mean by rinse and repeat?
So rinse and repeat means we go to a market, yeah. So and we find it for the first time we find it brand new, a new place, and if we stay in that place, it's become like a daily task, yeah. So you pick up all the details and that sort of a kind of a thing. It becomes your day-to-day activity, yeah. So and what you're gonna do is that when you are becoming familiar with that sort of process, then you will pick up the details, yeah. So then you will, let's say for example jhana, yeah. When you experience the jhana for the first time, you only saw a glimpse, just some joy and happiness. But if you go to jhana again and again, you can experience there was certain element of joy there, certain vibration, certain kind of a calm factor. You can analyze that, yeah. So it's kind of rinse and repeat is that go to that process again and again and become familiar, yeah.
Yes, thank you very much. Excellent.
Just practicing more and often and becoming more observant of your experience, yeah. So that is, yeah.
So we are so much grateful that we have Indu coming here to have such a wonderful talk today. So of course we can have more discussions, open discussions about the Dharma, and we really wanted Indu to participate with our sutta studying. So if possible, one month, one time for Indo, is it possible? So it's
Yeah, I
good
was
that
thinking
we have your
once a month, yeah.
wisdom once a month,
Yeah.
and Coral, so no, once a month, is it okay or not?
Yeah, okay.
But of course, everyone like to have the base of the sutta as well. So when you talk
Yeah.
about something, we call for the sutta. We get ready for the sutta, but of course, we are not really too much professional or being speaking too much with the public. So the people should not keep, one over all the questions. We only ask the question based on what we are talking now. So it's easy for us to maintain the topic is not running too far away. So please prepare when we have the topic, we prepare the base of the sutta and the questions we open for 15 minutes for everyone. And then Indo, so the next one is 1 month. I will figure out the time. That will be February. So it's good you based on your book, because I believe your book is have so many things you can talk about it. And Kono can choose whatever you like to talk. Based on just one sutta is good for you. Like last time you have a one shooter, it's good. So the rest of the two sections, we will do the other sutta. We will have people to open discussion, and I will handle the rest of it. Okay. So I will work with you, Connor, what time you are free for one topic each time. So can you also, Indo, you can put it in the website about this program, so we can have more people to come.
Yeah, I mean, Paul was saying that Trim Asia have their Dharma talk at exactly the same time as us.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So we change the time?
Well, the time of the day, maybe a Saturday would be better.
Saturday. So how about Indo?
Yeah, I think that I think that should be fine. Once in a month, if we agree certain time slot, then I can make it.
Let me check with other members, because we already have the Sunday class. So I have to check with them if they want to change or not. Then
Saturday is a good day, because Sunday there's, as you said, Asia, and Sunday is a busy day. Saturday is better, if everybody agrees that is.
Yeah,
okay,
fine.
let me check with them anyway. So I don't know why we choose a Sunday. I forgot what's the reason. Anyway, so we talk about this. I check with other members first. Okay, so today's we're going to end up here. So thank you for Indo coming, for giving us a very good talk. And then thank you for everyone coming here to really follow all the path by the Buddha teaching. So we'll see you next week. Next week we are going to continue on the Majjhima Nikaya, I think at the 10th Satipatthana Sutta. And Linda is helping us to go through it, and I will be the last one to talk about it. So we will see you next week if everyone are free. Okay. So thank you. Yes.
Excuse me. Is it possible for Indy to what he's showing today is very, very good. I would like to reread it. I can't see it properly. because my computer is not working. I'm looking at my mobile. Is it a possible, Indu, to have a link
Yeah,
or
I will
show
send
it?
you this PDF. Yeah, so
Oh, great. Thank you very
You
much.
can
was,
That's
post it
very
in the
good.
Sunday, yeah,
I
Sunday
was
Sutta.
going to cover that full document, but I think we covered quite a bit. Yeah, so it's just I was going to I think I covered most of it. So it's just I have that sort of let's say 2 or 3 pages of note. So let me.
Thank you very much.
How do I
So this is
share?
from your book, yeah?
It is slightly kind of
Summarized version. It's
summarized.
very good. The
Just and I put some cartoons there to
yeah.
give. How do you share a document here?
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you're going to post it, Indo?
Yeah, I'll post it in the WhatsApp. Yeah, if that is okay. Okay.
Okay, so we'll see you next week.
Okay. Thank you.
Happy New Year of everyone.
Happy New Year,
Okay.
all. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.